Everyone, welcome to the ACM Cyber's Fall General Meeting. So thank you guys for coming, first of all, and let's get started.
All right, thank you guys. So we wanted to talk a little bit about Cyber's mission. So as it says on the slide, our mission is to create a community in which both experts and beginners can grow in their cybersecurity skills and knowledge. We want to make cybersecurity simple and accessible for everyone. So basically, we want to make it a place where people of all skill levels can feel comfortable. So whether you're a beginner looking to that doesn't know where to start in cybersecurity, we want to be able to teach you like how to do that. And then we also want people with more experience to come in, start conversations, and possibly play some cool capture the flag competitions with you guys. So some careers in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a growing field. I'm sure many of you know that, and it's probably more important now than ever, like to have knowledge about how your data can be compromised and how you can protect yourself against it. And it's very handy skill for even software engineers to know. So here are some of the careers that you can take in cybersecurity. So you see we have like threat and detection response, or malware analysts, and pen testing at various companies. So
yeah, and so some activities and events that we are doing this quarter includes, first of all, obviously the Cyber Academy workshops, in which we give like an introduction to forensics techniques. So we also have practice CTF challenges in each workshop based on what we're teaching in that workshop, so you can get some hands-on practice on actual CTF problems. And just like a more emphasis that our workshop are very hands-on, so we'll talk you through like a demo. So there's no lectures boring you to death after a long day of lectures, because God knows I don't need any more of that either. And for those of you who can't make it, don't worry, we'll be recording the workshop and uploading it onto the ACM YouTube channel. We'll also be, so like how we did for this event, we'll also be posting a Zoom link on the Facebook event page and on Discord for the workshop. The links will also be in the membership portal, so if you guys are on that, you can also just reference that. They'll be there the entire time. This is just for security reasons. Yeah, and so this quarter, we're also hosting a DEFCON talk featuring Sanjana, who is an ex-cyber president from last year. She was also the DEFCON 28 speaker, so definitely come see what will be talking about.
All right, so this quarter we have a new event called Bruin Quest, and it is in collaboration with two other committees, HAC and ICPC. Kimberly likes to call this the most ambitious crossover event in ACM history. Kimberly is one of our officers that you met earlier, and she's the director for this event. It's a really fun puzzle hunt type event where you can compete with your fellow Bruins and win prizes. It takes place over 2 days on week 7, November 21st and 22nd, and no CS knowledge is required at all. Like most of these questions have nothing to do with CS. And so we're excited to see you guys there. Another event that we hold for Cyber is CTF After Dark. So it's a capture the flag style competition where officers make the questions, so we make sure that you're actually able to solve these questions. And it's based off of challenging you from your knowledge from Cyber Academy, so over the quarter. And you can win prizes as well here. And yeah, you guys get to compete in teams, and it's just a really fun time. We also have a point system for not just CTF After Dark, but for the workshop challenges. So completing the workshop challenges will give you a certain amount of points, which you can see on our website. You can like check the leaderboard and everything. And each quarter, one person who has the most points will be the winner. And we have Amazon gift card for you. And then same thing for CTF After Dark, but with teams. And we'll have 2 teams, like first and second place, that get varying amounts of money from the Amazon gift cards. So this is our website that I just mentioned. It has everything you need. So it has information for our events. As you can see here, we have a really nice layout that our officers have designed. You can look at the challenges for each workshop and the CTF challenges as well. You can look at the scoreboard, and you can sign into your account on this website as well. And also join our Discord, because we have everything there. We do news, announcements. We talk about CTFs, and we like form teams for CTFs to compete like externally. We give out solid career advice, just casual talking as well, and yeah, it's a good time there.
It basically tells us to look at the challenges. Let's just go through all of them. So first of all, cat owl. Cat owl is basically you just get an image called owl.jpg, and it says that there's a printable string in it. So there's a Linux command called strings, which can basically take a binary file, which might have like random bytes that aren't printable, and then show you the only printable ones. So if you do strings owl.jpg, you should get a list of them. And then the password is one of the longer strings. If you didn't want to look through all of that, you could also do strings-n, and then you could just specify the number of characters actually. Okay, wait. Something like that, and then you can really quickly see that this is the password. Okay, that's the first one. Next one is face stealer. So this one is basically you have an executable file. So you need to run it by doing something like // and then the file name. So //riddle. Okay, and then it basically asks you to solve some riddles. And they're all like avatar related. Also, just ignore this error message like Alec or anything. That's just my terminal being weird. Okay, I am ready to begin. Isaac, press enter to continue. Who had the original birthright of Fire Lord F? Okay, that's Iro. Okay. The next question is, shares his name. Who is his grand? That's Zuko. Zuko named
pause real quick, William. Can you hide that UCLA Zoom is sharing your screen?
Oh.
Yeah, because it's blocking that part.
I'm clicking hide, but it's not doing anything.
All right, can you just make the screen like a little shorter then? The terminal.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Give me a sec. Let me split. Okay. Now you should see it here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
perfect.
Zuko named his grandson Iro. That's why. And then what is this one? It's maybe chicken. I don't know.
Yeah, it's chicken.
Chicken. Okay. And then who else was feeding the turtle duck? His mom Ursa. Okay, and that's all you have to do for this one. And it gives you the password. Okay, next one. Spirit library. This one basically asks you to sort all of the titles here, and you can see they're not in alphabetical order, but you can, there's a Linux command called sort. You do sort titles.txt. You get them all in alphabetical order, and then if you choose like the 13th from the top, it's PyShow for Dummies. Okay, so all of them give you that PyShow for Dummies answer. The next thing you have to do is you need to switch to the next account in your group, using that as the password. For me, that was Lin, so I would just do following the instructions in the README, su-lin-l. You could also just SSH into Lin, like on another shell, if you wanted to. And then you enter PyShow for Dummies. Okay, that's your password. Okay, next. I do ls again in the Lin's home directory, and I see a file called README. Oh shoot, I switch. And this time it says, well, you have 3 challenges again, except you can't see them. And then also tells you to look at what hidden directories are. And so basically in Linux, there's like this very convenient thing where all file names and directory names in a directory that start with a period are treated as hidden. And they're not immediately viewable when you type in ls. And this is just for convenience, because a lot of the times you'll have a lot of like configuration files or other things that you don't care about and you don't want to see. And so if you prepend a period to them, you won't see them immediately with ls. But if you want to look at them, you can use the ls-a. Dash A is a flag, which basically tells ls to show all files in the directory. And you can see, along with like some stuff for bash, you'll see 3 different challenge directories. One is called Greentails, one's called Pigshrine, and one's called zukos-diary. So let's just go through all of them. You can just cd into a period, like into a hidden directory, just as you would with any other directory. So cd.greentails. And then if you show the README, it says, see a lot of green as it gives you basically this ciphertext. And so it basically says that it's some sort of cipher. And one of the most common ciphers is the Caesar cipher. So you could just use an online solver for this. This is just like some random tool. I'll just like guess the key. I'll just guess it based on what looks like English the most. And then you get the answer, leaves from the vine. Next one, picture end. This one is, well, it's another cipher, and the title kind of alludes to it, but it's the Pigpen cipher. And it's basically just converting letters to symbols. So kind of like this. And if you convert it, you'll get leaves from the vine as well. Okay. And then the final one is zukos-diary. And this one basically tells you that for some reason, this message is using numbers instead of letters. And one way to interpret these numbers is just to consider them as the number, like the letters of the alphabet, like sorted in order. Like, so for example, A would be 1, B would be 2, C would be 3, D would be, actually, wait, sorry, A would be 0, B would be 1, C would be 2, D would be 3, E would be 4. And if you interpret those numbers as letters, you again get leaves from the vine. So these are all kind of like classical ciphers. So they're not really secure or anything, but they've been used for centuries to just basically encrypt messages. Okay. And so once you get one of the passwords, you can move on to the next user. And for me, that was Suyin. So I'll just do that. And then the password is leaves from the vine. Okay. And this time it basically says, well, this time we have challenges, but they aren't exactly files, they're websites. And so you need to first figure out where the websites are. And it basically tells you to like look for the various port numbers that processes are listening to on the server. And then it tells you to look at the netstat command. So the netstat command is a pretty useful tool. In this case, we're going to be using these flags, which basically tell it to look for all of the processes that are listening on the server. If you do that, you should get a pretty short list of addresses along with their port numbers. And these three should stand out in particular, right? They're 10,000, 10,001, 10,002. And then if you visit them as websites, right, using this format shown above. Oh, shoot. So 10,000, for example, you get one website. And for this one, the easiest thing to do is like view the page source, and then you can see that it's linking a JavaScript file called authenticate.js. So then if you want to look at that one too, you can just click on it in Chrome, and then you can see the password there, worldwide weeps. That's the first one. That just involves viewing website source code. Second one, 10,001, it says no fugitives crawling around here, and it provides a link to a Wikipedia page about the robot exclusion standard. And basically this is just a file to tell like web crawlers what types of URLs, like what types of paths to avoid. If you go to standard here, it'll show that the standard way to provide a robots.txt file, someone asked, you don't find the URL when you did netstat-topn. Yeah, because all it gives you is the local address. It just is 0.0.0.0 and then the port number, but you don't, this is not the domain name. In order to view the domain name, you can go back to the README, or if you just remember what you SSH'd in with, and the domain name turns out to be is cabbage.core.acmcyber.com. And then to append the port number, you just include a colon and then the number itself, kind of like here, right? Okay, so robot exclusion standard, the standard way to provide it is as a file at /robots.txt. So if we go to /robots.txt, okay, if we go to /robots.txt, you'll see that it's disallowing one particular URL path. And contrary to what the robots.txt wants you to do, we're going to visit this site. We're going to visit this path. So secrettunnel.html. And now you have a bunch of different possible passwords, and the idea is that if you want to see which one it is, again, you want to view the page source, and then you'll see a bunch of different classes. So one of them is not password, another one's also not password. But if you go to the bottom, there's a specific class called password, or ID actually. The PID equals password, and then it has worldwide weaves, and this is the password to the third account as well. Okay, so now that we have that, we can log in as the fourth user. And so for me, that was Tenzin, passwords, worldwide weaves. Okay, now we arrive to the challenge that I wrote, which I think is pretty fun. So your first instinct might be to do like ls, right? If you want to see the files. And then it says ls, and then instead of like giving you the concept of the directory, now it says mu. Similarly, if you try to like do cat, sorry, cat readme or readme or whatever, it also just says, like, it just shows the picture of the ASCII art cow. Like in general, if you like do whatever you want, the cow will say it for you. And so the way this works is basically, in this account, some commands, specifically ls and cat and cd, like if I want to change directories into something, I'll also do a cow. These commands have been aliased to do a different command called cowsay. And cowsay is basically a command which its only functionality is it prints a cow, and then it also says whatever you provide to it as arguments. So there are two ways to get around this. The first way is to just basically use a command that wasn't aliased to cowsay. And so the vast majority of commands on the server actually are not like alias in any way. So like I could do nano, and then I could autocomplete. I would just basically autocomplete the file, like nano readme. Okay, whatever. My terminal is being dumb.
I think Vim worked too.
Yeah, Vim as well. I don't think I set up my terminal for this, but you could do nano readme. Another way to do it would be to like use the echo command and then provide it the readme file through standard input like this. Okay, wait. Never mind. Another way to do it would be to specify the specific, like the actual path of the binary executable. And so when you talk about, like whenever you run a command, it's not like built into the shell or anything. The shell actually looks for a specific file somewhere in your file system, and then it executes that binary. And so you can like actually, for any command you want, you can actually figure out where it's located by using the which commands. Like which cat will tell you, oh, well, first of all, it's like aliased, but like which nano is /user/bin/nano. And then if you're in another user account, if you did which cat, then you could see that cat is at /bin/cat. The final thing you could do is, if you notice here, basically this is how it's aliasing. You can also unalias commands by doing like unalias, or you could just do alias cat equals cat or something. And then once you view cat readme, now just behave as normal. But yeah, there are a variety of ways to like get past the cowsay thing. It wasn't, yeah, you could also edit the bashrc file. You could also delete everything. Yes, that's true. If you just did rm star, that works. But yeah, a lot of things. And then to prove that you've like solved all the challenges, it just tells you to make a file in the /gm directory. So then there's a command called touch, which basically does that, like touch /gm/ and you can create a new file like I was here. And then basically we can use that to just see everyone who solved the challenge sorted in order. So for example, Team Suki, that account, they won by creating the file the earliest. If you try to be like mean and you try to delete their file, like maybe my team was Tenzin, maybe I want to delete all of these files first. If I try to delete /gm/cabbage, you don't have the permission to. All right, so that's about it in terms of the run through.